I'm Brent Severin, and I'm co-host of Black and Blue, This Week in Hockey.
And I'm Hillary Kennedy. Black and Blue is a weekly half-hour show informing, educating, and entertaining.
I do the entertaining.
Yeah, he definitely does
Thank
the entertaining. Entertaining viewers on the most recent events of the week's NHL games. The show is content-driven with unique perspectives and an entertaining look at hockey around the globe. Each week, Black and Blue features The Other Side. This segment is an in-depth interview with NHL players, coaches, and even celebrity fans.
Who knew we had celebrity fans? Well, conference standings, key divisional matchups, all will be analyzed. We'll bring an inside look to the players, their lives, and as well as the team on the ice. Hits, goals, fights, of course. We're going to cover it all here on Black and Blue.
You know everything about the fight.
I do.
In-depth interviews are shot on location across the U.S. and Canada. And not only do we look back at the stories that made news during the past week, we look ahead to key matchups of players and teams. So here's a sample of Black and Blue, This Week in Hockey.
Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in to Black and Blue, This Week in Hockey. I'm Brent Severin, along with the lovely, the talented Hillary Kennedy. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well tonight. How about you?
We're doing great. So now we're going to get into some hockey. Our first story and our top story tonight is about the NHL and the newly formed Russian Continental Hockey League.
That's right. Nashville Predators forward Alexander Radulov was indefinitely suspended without pay by the team today. Radulov decided to stay with his Russian KHL team despite having 1 year left on his entry-level contract. The Russian-born forward was the Predators' first-round pick in 2004 and third in on the team last season. Predators general manager David Poile said, "At some point we hope Alex will have a desire to return to the NHL and compete in the best league in the world with and against the best competition. We will revisit his status at that time." There are some huge ramifications here, Brent. Tell me about that with some of the other players that are going to the KHL.
Well, there's three notables that played in the National Hockey League last year. Of course, Jaromir Jagr, who was with the New York Rangers, and Ray Emery, the goaltender for the Ottawa Senators. We know the trouble that he had last year. And Sergei Brylin, of course, has moved over and joined the Russian League over in Europe.
Wow, well, we're going to get more on your opinion on the NHL-KHL situation later on the show.
I got lots of opinions.
I can't wait to hear them.
I'm sure.
Well, and in case you didn't know, the KHL is the old Russian Super Hockey League, and it includes teams from Russia and countries that were a part of the Soviet Union. Okay, so Brent, the KHL includes 24 teams from Russia and from former Soviet states, and it's drawing some young talent from the NHL. What kind of impact do you see this having on the NHL long term?
Well, I don't think the impact is going to be long-term on the type of talent we're going to see in the NHL. I think the NHL is still the best league in the world. Everybody wants to play there, no question. Yeah, thumbs up, no question about it. Now, the NHL best will continue to play in the National Hockey League, and the players we're talking about, the Jagr, Emery, Brylin, they could not sign the contracts that they wanted with their NHL team, so that's the reason they went over. But where it's going to hurt is some of these younger players being drafted from the Russian League, and that's where it's really going to hurt for the Russian players who want to come over. There's no agreement yet, so long term I think this is really going to hurt Russia more than anything. I know they're trying to battle against the NHL team with this new league, but really the Malkins, the Datsuks, they turned down some huge money to go play over there. Wow. They want to play for the Stanley Cup, so they're going to stay within the league.
I think that's a good choice.
I think it's a great idea.
As we stated earlier, Alexander Radulov broke his contract. So what do you think his reception is going to be like if he's forced back into the NHL?
He may be forced back into the NHL, no question about that. NHL, well, they're going to hire an independent arbitrator to figure this whole thing out.
Well, and don't you think he should go ahead and finish out his contract since there's only a year left?
Yeah, a single year. If you sign a contract, you got to finish it. I believe it. There's no holding out. There's no negotiation. You finish the contract, no question about it. You know, he signed that 3-year deal with the KHL, so obviously he's going to go over there for more money. The Predators, though, they really need his scoring for next year. They're building around defense. They're building around a veteran group, but they need Radulov. He was third in points in the team last year.
Wow, well, this is a big story, and what happens here will determine what happens in the future, so we'll keep an eye on it. And when we come back, we'll have a huge game, Stars versus Red Wings. Stay with us. Welcome back to Black and Blue, This Week in Hockey. Well, it's time to take a close look at the Stars and Wings who are deep into the playoffs. The Red Wings lead the series 3-0. With Game 4 in Dallas, the Stars look to start their comeback, and it appears the Wings have really been taking advantage of some of the mistakes made by the Stars.
Yeah, the word I'm going to use, I know it's big for a hockey show, plethora. Yeah, I looked it up today.
I like that.
But the Dallas Stars, they paid for their mistakes in Game 3, no question about it. 26 giveaways, way too many. Way too many in the National Hockey League, and at times it really looked like the Red Wings just toying toying with the Dallas Stars, if you can believe. If you're a Stars fan,
Oh, painful.
not so. It is painful, no question about it. After Nicholas Grossman got that first goal, tied it up at 1-1, just took the Detroit Red Wings 37 seconds to score that next goal, and that really sucked the life out of the American Airlines Center. But no one in the Dallas Stars dressing room was ready to give up.
Well, the Wings did take advantage of every situation and made the 5-2 win look really easy. And even with a commanding lead in the series, Mike Babcock says he's not looking ahead or taking anything for granted.
You know, we're at the same spot we were last year. We never got past this spot last year. So I'm real fortunate. And, you know, we had a lockout one year, but in 5 years in the league, been at this spot 3 times. And one previous time got past her. And, you know, everyone thinks they have a chance, but until you get to the final round and won 3 games, you don't have a chance. And so we're a long way away, and we know where we're at. We're trying to be as prepared and focused for today. And it's so easy to get ahead of yourself. You can't get ahead of yourself. We're going to get the best push we've had from their team tonight, and we better be ready.
Well, you know what? Detroit, that's been on fire. This is going to be a tough road for the Dallas Stars to pull this one out. There's no question about that. They are a team, the Detroit Red Wings, 9-game winning streak at hand. Not bad, huh? We'll keep taking stats for you. 4+ games where they haven't trailed at all. They are 1 victory away from the big sweep in their 2nd consecutive series. The Wings, well, they look focused, and they really seem to be in full control of their game.
All right, injury alert. In Game 3, there was a scary moment for Captain Brendan Morrow of the Stars. He goes hard right for Brad Stewart. Stewart gets out of the way. He goes straight into the boards. Did you see this?
Did I see it? I felt it all the way up in the press box. You can't take your hand and put it on your other shoulder that way. The body, it's not supposed to do that. Well, obviously, this is a bad injury, no question about it. 22.5 minutes he played last game. He's a workhorse. He's a leader. He's a trooper. You know what? He's a hockey player. He's going to be out there. He'll be battling, but he's got to get in front of the net. How effective he can be, well, he will do everything he can to get on the ice. He gets the rebound goal. That's his house right in front of the net. Whether he'll be back and be effective, that will be the key for the Dallas Stars next game.
Well, here's hoping he's back in Game 4. Dallas did a lot of things better in Game 3 than it had in the first 2 games of the series. They scored twice, equaling their output from the first 2 games, and they were only outshot 21-18 while registering 47 hits.
It really comes down to the importance of that start. Well, Brendan Morrow and his teammates, they said that while the increased intensity was nice, it also helped the Wiley Red Wings get some great scoring opportunities. There's such a fine line between getting to your check and overcommitting, allowing the Wings in transition. The Dallas Stars, they have yet to get the first goal in the series. In Game 1, Morrow didn't get the Stars' first goal until 18:53 of that second period. Game 2 and 3, well, they struck first, the Detroit Red Wings did. Stars in Detroit, they understand the importance of the initial phases of the next game.
Well, and Bryn had a chance to sit down with the Dallas Stars defenseman Nick Grossman before Game 5 of their series against San Jose. He talked to Sevy about playing in his first NHL postseason and finishing out the series.
Yeah, you know, I had pretty high expectations going into the playoffs here, and I heard a lot about it too, you know, so, you know, just preparing for that, just kind of have to step my game up a bit, and, you know, I know the physical level is going to go up too, so, you know, I felt I was prepared, but once I got into it, I kind of, first couple of shifts there against Anaheim, got a little surprised, but after a while, I kind of get used to it.
Talk about this guy, Joe Thornton. He's a pretty big, imposing guy. You're a big lad yourself. Talk about how it's been to match up against the big boy.
Yeah, you know, he's a great player. There's no question about it. He got good hands, he's got good size, and, you know, he uses it well too, so, you know, you gotta be aware when he's out there, and gotta play smart, always be in good position, and I think if you can give him a bump or two once in a while, it's not a bad thing.
I love the X's and O's of the game. I love to break it down, show the fans what the players are doing at ice level. I got a good clip here. I got Phoenix and Anaheim. We're going to break it down. I love breakouts, very important aspect of the game. Now we're watching at the top of the screen. Look at the forwards coming back into their own zone. They're going to check, have a look up ice. Let me circle the 4 forwards. Watch the patterns. The defenseman, he's like the quarterback setting up behind the net. He steps out. The forwards have filled their patterns or their lanes. The defenseman, he could have gone either way on that. He moves it to the right side. The Phoenix Coyotes dumping in. Very effective way to get out on the power play. We're going to look at our second clip here. Obviously, offense is very important. Defense is important. But one of the aspects that you don't talk too much about is neutral zone pressure. Now, we're going to look at the Phoenix defenseman, Ed Jovanovski, coming out. Look to your right. We're going to give you a nice little arrow. There is Ryan Getzlaff. He's going to put pressure through the middle of the ice, and that's going to force Ed Jovanovski to do something that he doesn't want, and that is put the puck through the middle of the ice. Right there, you can really get good transition by putting pressure. Now let's have a look what Ed's looking at. He's coming up ice. He's got some pressure from behind, and what you don't want to do as a defenseman is move it to the middle. That's a perfect spot for them to take it over. There you see a nice hit by Brad May, but the coaches want you to put that puck up against the boards.
Well, in time for some entertainment news, some NHL players got the Hollywood treatment in New York City during the premiere of the HBO series Entourage.
Hollywood, I love the way you said that.
I love the players in Hollywood. Martin Brodeur, Vincent Lecavalier, and Henrik Lundqvist were on hand to attend the Emmy-winning series' 5th season premiere. And former Islander Mike Bossy was also at the event.
Okay, before you comment on these guys, why don't you tell me what you were saying off camera about these guys and the outfits they're wearing?
I did a little critique before the show, and I'm going to have to say that Lundqvist was probably the most dapper with his tie, and then Lecavalier looked very breezy and casual with the no-tie look.
Whoa, back it up. What's breezy? Is that good or is that bad?
Oh, it's very good.
Am I breezy? Am I breezy?
You are very breezy.
Or do I got to bring it
I
down
like
a little
it.
bit?
No, I like
Take
it.
it down to the belly button and I'm breezy.
You look fantastic too. And then Brodeur, I thought, had an interesting faux hawk going on. It's a new look for him.
It's not a new look. My 3-year-old's got that same look and he looks dapper. Way to go, Marty.
Well, when you're as good as he is, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So.
Another good point by you.
Well, next time we see Sean Avery, we'll have to pin him down and ask him what he thought since he interned at Vogue.
Did you know that Sean Avery irons his underwear?
He irons his underwear?
Yeah.
I like a man that pays attention to the details.
How about this news today, Hillary, about out of the NHL, about a third outdoor game, this time in Montreal, Canada. You ever been to Montreal?
I haven't. I would love to go, though.
Beautiful
Outdoor
place.
game, you and I.
I'm there. Well, the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens, have talked to the provincial government about having the game at the Olympic Stadium, but it has no roof, so they have to fix that roof before they can have the game. People from the Canadiens said there has been no date set for this game, but with the success that the NHL had with the 2 previous games, you would suspect Montreal would be an outstanding place to have it.
Absolutely. I can't wait to find out more. And suspense surrounding the return of Matt Sundin to the Toronto Maple Leafs to the NHL continues. The 37-year-old native of Sweden met with the team recently while Sundin was in town for a charity event. I'm kind of tired of hearing about this. What do you think?
You know what? I'm not big on soap operas. I'm getting tired of the whole thing. Let's wrap it up, Mats. Let's get things done.
No kidding. Well, after talking with management, Sundin was quoted as saying, "It was a nice meeting, but what was said wasn't anything that hasn't been said before." The Canadiens, Rangers, and Canucks remain strong suitors of the 17-year veteran, with the Canucks offering $10 million a season for 1 or 2 years. Wow.
That's going to pay some groceries, no question about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some sweepstakes here for Matt Sundin. Now we have some news on Sidney Crosby. We know he can dance and prance on the ice, no question about that. Now the outstanding ambassador is getting an award off the ice as well. He got the Order of Nova Scotia.
Wow. Well, I know where Nova Scotia is, but I've never heard of the Order of Nova Scotia.
Well,
What is that?
We should go. It's a beautiful place. You get some lobster there and live there for a few years. Very nice. Well, let me tell you, the 21-year-old is the youngest person to receive the honor, and the Order of Nova Scotia encourages excellence by recognizing Nova Scotians for their outstanding contributions or excellence in achievement. Now, the 5 people selected were 5 out of 68 total for the award. So again, Sidney Crosby doing it off the ice here as well.
Yeah, way to go. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Hillary Kennedy,
And I chipped in today as Brent Severin.
and we'll see you next time on Black and Blue, This Week in Hockey.